This video will instruct in upgrading to Windows 10 version 1903 using the Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant. So if we right click the Start button and select System, we'll see what edition, version and build we have installed. So I've got version 1903, but it's an insider preview, so the build is 18343 and the RTM build is 18362. So let's open up Google Chrome and do a search for Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. And instead of using the Media Creation Tool, we're going to use the Upgrade Assistant. So select Update Now, and this gives you the download to the Upgrade Assistant. So this will tell you what build you have installed and the latest version. Because I'm on the Insider preview, it says they are both 1903. So I'm going to select Update Now, and then it will do some checks to see if I've got enough storage space. And once it's done the checks, I can select Next. And then it's just a case of waiting for Windows 10 to get the update ready. So I just got a notification that the update's ready to install. So likely it's came via Windows Update as well, because this is an insider preview build. But I'll just ignore that for just now and let the Windows 10 Update Assistant continue the upgrade install. Okay, so I forgot to change my power settings, so my screen went blank for a moment there. Okay, so once this stage is done, it will tell you that it's going to restart your computer in half an hour and begin the countdown. So you can select Restart Later or Restart Now, which is recommended to begin the upgrade install. So my screen went blank there once again because I forgot to change the power settings before doing this recording. So we'll get this notification that we're about to be signed out, and it will show for about a minute, and then your computer will restart. So you'll see the Dell BIOS splash screen, and then you'll see the working on update screen. And then your computer will restart once again, so you'll see the Dell BIOS splash screen again, and it will continue to work on the updates. After it's done this, you'll need to log in, and then you'll go through the final stages of the upgrade install. And now you'll be on your Windows 10 version 1903 desktop. And because this is no longer a Windows 10 Insider preview, the desktop will no longer be watermarked on the right hand corner. Okay, so Edge will tell you, welcome to your new version of Windows. We can close down Edge. And if we right click the Start button and go to System, we can now see that we have Windows 10 version 1903 and that it is build 18362. Okay, so I want some more details about my system, so I'm going to press Windows and R and type in MSInfo32. Now it's a shame that Microsoft doesn't list all the settings in MSInfo32 on System, but perhaps they will in a later Windows 10 build. Okay, so what I'm interested in here is the system manufacturer, which is Dell, and the system model, it's an Optiplex 7040. We also have the BIOS version, which is 1.11.1, and the SM BIOS version is 3.0. So since it's a Dell Optiplex, we need to use Dell Command Update, and the latest version is version 2.4. So this is for the business Dell models such as the Latitude, the Precision and Optiplex ranges. If we had a home model such as an Inspiron or an Alienware or an XPS, then we would need to use Dell Update opposed to Dell Command Update, and the latest version is 3.0.1. But the user interface of the two applications is more or less identical. I believe that the only difference is Dell Command Update has support for operating systems other than Windows 10. If you're using a Lenovo, then you use the Lenovo System Update. And if you're using a HP, then you use the HP Support Assistant. So these utilities will basically scan your system and scan the hardware present in your system and detect the driver version of such hardware. And basically, if your OEM has a newer version on their server, it will automatically apply it. If you've already got a newer version installed, then it won't bother installing the driver from your OEM. So let's go ahead and launch it, accept the user account control, and then select finish. Okay, so now that Dell Command Update's installed, we can go to the start menu and launch it. And then we'll get the user account control prompt to launch it. Earlier versions did not launch as an administrator and couldn't search for updates correctly. So I'm glad that Dell have fixed this issue in the newer version. Okay, so we can just go through the default settings and then select check. So if you've got a newer model, you'll more than likely have a series of updates to install. So you can just select install, or you can check customize to get more information about said updates. So I've got them all selected and I'm going to select close. And now I'll go ahead and install the updates. So once it's downloaded the updates, it'll begin installing them, and for some updates it may require a restart. Okay, so I've been informed that 5 out of the 6 updates have installed successfully and 1 update failed. And now I need to go ahead and restart. So just ignore the update that's failed at the moment. And in my case, when I restart, because one of my updates was a UEFI BIOS update, the computer will begin to update its UEFI BIOS. So once the UEFI BIOS firmware update is complete, it should say firmware update complete and restart once again. So log back into Windows 10. And once back on the desktop, go ahead and relaunch Dell Command Update. So let's check for drivers once again. And we see that we've got 2 drivers listed. So this is the driver for the wireless card and the driver for the Bluetooth card respectively. So let's go ahead, download these and install the updates. Okay, it asks for a restart once again. And let's launch it once again and see if it offers any more updates. Okay, so it's found some more updates. And what it found was that Bluetooth driver once again. So it seems not to be installing the Bluetooth driver correctly on my system. And I could go ahead and manually install it from the Dell server. But what's perhaps better is to use the Intel driver and support assistant, because this usually offers even newer drivers than Dell offer for Intel wireless cards and Intel Bluetooth cards. Occasionally, it will also offer drivers for other Intel components. So we'll need to use a browser to launch it in, and typically we can use Google Chrome for this. So it's found 2 updates. As I said, it's found an update for the wireless card and it's found an update for the Bluetooth. So let's just go ahead and install these 2 updates. So follow the on-screen instructions of the installer to install the driver. Okay, and then it should move on to the second installer. And here we go, both are installed. It'll ask for a restart. So after the restart, the Intel driver and update assistant should automatically relaunch. Now in my case it relaunched in Edge, and it also relaunched in Chrome. This is because Windows 10 relaunches the browsers that were previously open. So we now know my system's up to date, and we can once again launch the Dell command update to check whether the system's up to date. Okay, so if I press Windows and ARM and type in msinfo32, I can see that my UEFI BIOS version is 1.14.0 and it was 1.11.1 before. And now let's enable the useful features of Windows 10 version 1903. Right click the start button and go to settings, and then select clipboard and turn on clipboard history. Right click the taskbar and enable the touchscreen keyboard. And if you right click the start button and go to settings and then go to personalization and then go to color, and then you'll be able to change your default Windows mode to light, and this will give you the light theme showing. Okay, so let's just open up WordPad and let's enable this touchscreen keyboard. So you'll notice that you've now got symbol input on the touchscreen keyboard. So you've got really easy access to mathematical symbols, currency symbols, and Greek letters, for example. So let's go ahead and just type in the Greek alphabet using the touchscreen keyboard. And now let's have a look at copy. So we know we can copy by using Control and C. And we know we can go ahead and paste by using Control and V. And this still works. So let me just demonstrate this here. Now in the past, when you copied and pasted and then copied again, you would essentially overwrite the first item you copied, and this was a huge pain. So what Microsoft have done is they've made a paste clipboard, and you can readily access this paste clipboard from the touchscreen keyboard as shown. Now, if you want to access this paste clipboard using a normal keyboard, what you need to do is press the Windows button and press V. So instead of using Control and V, use Windows and V. Now, the touchscreen keyboard is useful for a touchscreen. However, if you're wanting to type using keyboard and mouse, to get to the symbols, press Windows and full stop, and you will get the emoji panel instead. And this has been upgraded to have the same symbol input. So let's just copy more items. And let's go ahead and quickly make a screenshot. So to make a screenshot, we can press the print screen button. And if you recall, doing so would save the screenshot to memory, but it wouldn't save it to file. In Windows 10, if we press the Windows button and the print screen button together, we'll get the screenshot saved to file, so it will be saved under pictures and then the subfolder screenshots. So I don't see the print screen button in the touchscreen keyboard, so I'll just go ahead and use the physical keyboard. And there we go, you see that Windows 10 has made a screenshot. Okay, so if I go to pictures and then screenshots, you'll see the screenshot is here. So let's just open it and let's right click it and select copy. So let's have a look at the paste clipboard now. We should see the image that was created when we made the screenshot and we should see the image created when we right clicked the photo and selected copy, and of course we've got the symbols copied from earlier on. Okay, so that's my video on upgrading to Windows 10 version 1903. You should hopefully be upgraded to this build and have the latest system drivers released by your OEM and enable the simple but neat new features of this build.